Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of Our Government is Run by Pedophiles and How You're Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. I know I'm going to sound salty in saying this, but there were consequences to somebody like me not becoming FTC chair. This may have seemed like a joke to you, but a year and a half ago, I showed up on this website, Nominees for the People, that was started, I think, by RFK Jr., correct me if I'm wrong, and the idea behind this website was to figure out who people wanted for high up positions in government, because this was supposed to be a government by the people, for the people, and yeah, it's mostly a government of loyalists who may or may not have bribed their way into the administration. But in theory, in the beginning, the idea was that. And one of the things I thought was cool about this website is that anybody could nominate somebody and then you would just see what people thought. And one of the things that was very interesting is that my name showed up consistently. And I think some of the people with the highest vote rates on this website were me for FTC chair. Now, I'm not a lawyer. There are many reasons people can make the argument that I'm not necessarily qualified to be FTC chair, but I thought it was very cool. I was humbled and honored by everybody that voted for me. Unfortunately, the person that actually became FTC chair was somebody that thought it should be more difficult to cancel gym memberships, who dissented on concepts like click to cancel. But today, I wanted to saltily let you know what some of the consequences are of the current FCC being the current FTC and reading what they think on age verification. Now, age verification is this thing where you decide that you are going to ask for ID or biometric scans to prove that somebody is over 18 in order to use a product or service, which is a great way to group people that don't use that, who are adults, with people who are actual children. Great fucking job protecting the kids there. But one of the things that I think is the most interesting about all of this is that there are actual laws in the books that will prevent a lot of this from occurring. In Colorado, a bill has been presented that would just be asking for age indication, as in I indicate that I'm over 18, not verification. But you know that at some point that this is going to get to the point where they ask for proof that you are above 18. At some point, this will become genuine age verification. A law proposed in New York is a little bit more strict with it, and we all know where this is going. Now, one of the things that I found interesting is that there are laws on the books and rules in the books that make it illegal to collect this type of information from kids without parental consent and a lot of red tape, which I think is a great thing. I think there should be as much red tape as possible when it comes to collecting information from children on the internet. This is a law and a rule. You have the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule, the COPPA rule, and the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which is a law. I was very curious how this age verification shit would work with this, because the whole point behind this is don't collect information from children. And the FTC released a statement last week that I missed saying that we're actually just not going to enforce that anymore. And I quote, "Policy statement announces enforcement approach regarding the collection, use, and disclosure of personal data to determine the age of a user. The Federal Trade Commission issued a policy statement today announcing that the Commission will not bring an enforcement action under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule against certain website and online service operators that collect, use, and disclose personal information for determining a user's age via age verification technologies. The COPPA rule requires operators of commercial websites or online services directed to children under 13 and operators with actual knowledge they're collecting personal information from a child to provide notice of their information practices to parents and obtain verifiable parental consent before collecting, using, or disclosing personal information collected from a child under 13. I think that's great. Personally, I'm sick and tired of a lot of the services that collect my data even as an adult, but this is a start. There is some red tape. There is some friction in the process of collecting data from children. Age verification technologies play a critical role in helping parents as they monitor their children's online activities. As noted by the FTC's recent workshop in age verification technologies, some age verification technologies may require the collection of personal information from children, prompting questions about whether such activities could violate the COPPA rule, which I think they do. Age verification technologies are some of the most child protective technologies to emerge in decades, said Christopher Mufriage, director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection. Our statement incentivizes operators to use these innovative tools, empowering parents to protect their children online. So the current FTC thinks that this protects children online. And the best part of this entire document is when they talk about the commission vote. Commission. The commission vote to issue the policy statement was 2-0. 2 is not a commission. If you're going to be revoking a law or a rule that prohibits collecting personal data from children on the internet, you should have more than 2 people voting on it. Hey, that's just me. I ain't a legal scholar and I ain't the head of the FTC. This is a government of pedophiles at this point. I don't know how else to put it. This does not protect people online. It doesn't. You're literally grouping people who are adults who have simply not verified their age with actual children. You're making it easier for people to prey on children online. You're making it easier legally to collect data on children, which can be misused or mishandled in fucked up ways. There have been enough data breaches recently to demonstrate that all of this data that's being collected at some point is going to be leaked. And if you have a lot of companies that are rushing to comply with these laws as quickly as possible, they're likely going to be rushing to find a vendor, meaning they're rushing to implement it, meaning they're probably not taking the time to do a security audit of all of this. I can't imagine how people who literally say that we want to protect the children are no longer going to enforce a law that prevents you from collecting data from children.
Something else I'm getting tired of is all this stupid bullshit we have to listen to all the time about children. It's all you hear in this country. Children, help the children. What about the children? Save the children. You know what I say? Fuck the children. Fuck them.
This is the onion, and I hope that all of you see that. And one of the things that I think you ask above everything else, I talked about this when it came to flock cameras as well. There are a lot of issues in the country right now, whether you're talking like abortion, immigration, or back in the day, COVID lockdowns, vaccines, everything else, where people are heavily divided on what to do, and you can kind of put a line down the middle where each camp is like, I can't believe somebody would think that, but there are people out there that think that. When it comes to this, whether it's you or somebody who votes the exact opposite of you, who would hate you and everything you stand for, one of the things that you all have in common is you all think this is ridiculous and you all hate this. So if people like you and people who hate people like you both don't like this, then why is it continuing to get pushed through? It's not about the people that vote differently from you. It's about the people who have power over you. And when you start asking that question and focusing your eye in that direction, you might start to get some answers and perhaps different results. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Louis Rossmann for FTC Chair 2028. I'm just going to throw that out there, that if I was the FTC chair, I would not be revoking laws and regulations that stop companies from collecting children's data. And this is one of the things that's the most frustrating when it comes to deregulation in general. I understand there's a lot of stupid regulations in the books. Finding Louis $1,000 because he doesn't have his business license number on his business card, silly law. Why do we always have to start when it comes to deregulation at the laws that make sense? Don't collect personally identifiable information from children. Great law. Airlines should provide refunds or discounts if they fuck over the passenger and mess up their trip. Great law. There's millions of stupid laws in the books. Why do you start by getting rid of the ones that make sense? Government of pedophiles. I said it. I stand behind it. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. See you in the next video. Bye now.